Welcome to the Alabama A&M Football Review. Highlights, features, and analysis with head coach Connell Maynor. Brought to you by Protective Life, Union Chapel Missionary Baptist Church, and University Kia.
What's going on at SWAC Media Day 2023 in Birmingham, Alabama? Find out next on the Alabama A&M preseason football review with head coach Connell Maynor.
In the Sheridan here in the Magic City from Birmingham, Alabama, all 12 teams in attendance, their coaches, 2 players representing, and several media in attendance here as well. It's so great to be back with you all.
Alabama A&M, the head coach, Connell Maynor. Joined by 2 players, running back, Donovan England and Sarion Hayes.
Yeah, this is a great time of the season. I love this time of the season, Media Day. That means the season is right around the corner. We're very excited about the new season. Last year's in the past, and we're looking forward this year. We got a great schedule. We're gonna have great football games every week, and it's gonna be so exciting to coach these guys and watch these guys develop and grow and win football games, and represent the SWAC in the championship and the Celebration Bowl this year. Those are our goals. Those are our plans, and we're gonna try to reach them. Now, don't forget, everybody loves their team right now. Everybody loves their team right now. I love mine, so we got high expectations to win the championship. Thank you.
Coach, talk about your schedule, your home opener against Lane.
Yeah, Lane is a very good opponent. It's a D2 opponent, but they beat Tennessee State last year, so they got a good program. We can't sleep on Lane. We got to be ready to play. And it's Louis Cruz Classic. First home game. It's going to be packed, and it's going to be a great football game. So we'll be prepared, and we have to. If not, they'll beat us like they did Tennessee State last year.
Coach, we're out of Birmingham, so obviously here it's a big game every year. To extend the Magic City Classic to stay at Legion Field, what does that mean to your school in particular?
For us, for me and the players, it's just about the safety. We want to play wherever it's safe, most safe to play. Legion Field has been great for us and Alabama State and the Classic just because of all the tailgating and everything that goes on all week long. And I think, they would like to continue that. What I have to focus on is winning the football game. But I think everybody wants the game to stay at Legion Field because of all the tailgating, all the cookouts, all the parties, and everything that goes on for the whole week. And if you move that game to Progressive, you won't be able to do those things.
Coach mentioned you love your team. What do you really like about your team? What gets you excited about the season opener? Being able to play against somebody else. We're going to go against each other. We think we're going to have a good defense. We think we're going to have a good offense. But you never know until you face the other opponents and live bullets. And so we open up on the road at Vanderbilt. And again, we would like to be competitive as long as we can and get out there with no injuries. We don't want to get Eaglin or Zarion hurt in that game and won't happen for the conference. So our goals in those games, the money games, are to be competitive as much as we can and get out of there healthy.
Coach, last year you guys had to try to find a new replacement at quarterback. This year, how do you feel about your quarterback competition and just the guys you have in that room? And what are you just looking for during as fall camp starts to see which guy's going to really separate himself?
It's not rocket science. We want the guy to be consistent. Flashes of greatness get you beat. Everybody gonna make a play here or throw there, but you got to be consistent, and that's what we need out of that position. We need guys that understand to move the chains, get first downs, and then those equal touchdowns, and touchdown equals wins. And we got Quincy and Casey. Quincy and X played well at times last year, but then at times they didn't play well. And so what we need those guys to do is be more consistent. And the quarterback position is still open, and those guys don't compete. And we'll probably play more than one quarterback in the first game, and maybe even the second game. And then after that, we have to make a decision and go with somebody if we don't make a decision before that.
you talked about last year being in the past. What is it going to take for this year's team to really move past last year and get back to competing at the top, like you keep mentioning that you're coming for that that SWAC championship?
Yeah, we kind of put ourselves behind the eight ball a little bit with our schedule last year, and what people don't understand is we played some money games, but we got a brand new turf, and that helped pay for that turf, and we got a new locker room that's helped pay for that, and we're going to do some other things with our practice facilities that is a direct correlation to benefit our players. And so, yeah, we took it on the chin the first 4 games last year, but we're reaping the benefits now by, again, the brand new turf and the new field and other things that we're doing that takes money. So, when I look at the last year record, I look at the conference record, 4-4. I said it before, if we played, 3 NAI teams or 3 D2 teams to start the season off, we won't be 4-4. We've been 7-4. And so then we've been 7-4. Everybody said, oh, they had a pretty good year. But we didn't do that. We chose to go the other route and bring some resources in so we can do some other things at the university. So we just look forward to playing a regular schedule, a normal schedule this year. And then we got to win the games we won last year in the conference, and then 4 games we lost in the conference, we need to revenge those games this year.
We were at SEC Media Days last week, and Snakey was talking about the excitement of starting early with that Vanderbilt game. What are the advantages of you guys kind of kicking off the season a little earlier with that game?
Well, I don't know if there's an advantage, but we get to see what we got early, 1 week before everybody else, And as far as, everybody's held to the same standard. You get to come in 31 days before, you get 29. 29 days before, you only get 25 practices. So everybody's held to that same standard. So I don't know if it's an advantage by playing early because you still get the same amount of time to prepare. So, but we look forward to it. We'll get to see where we are, what our needs are, where our strengths are, what our weaknesses are.
Coach, a lot of media here today for SWAC Media Days. The conference has grown so much. How much has it grown since when you first came to Alabama A&M?
Well, this would be my 6th year, and let me see, I see a lot of cameras. I saw about 4 or 5 my first year, and we probably got 10 or 12 in here right now. But the conference just continues to grow every year. Commissioner has done a great job with this conference and building it and moving it forward. Along with the coaches and the teams. When you put out a good product, people want to see it, and that helps grow it. The games and the classics that we play helps in that also. So the Celebration Bowl, we got a lot of good things going on in the SWAC, and the conference just continuing to grow every year and every year. So it's going to continue to get bigger and bigger.
For the players, Coach was talking about that new turf. How much do you like playing on that turf? How's it feel being out there? How quick do you guys feel?
The turf is nice. It's a brand new turf. We practice on it. We did a little bit of 7-on-7. It feels better than our old turf. So we thank Coach Maynor and the alumni and everybody who helped us get the turf. So we really appreciate it.
It's a very great field. It's very nice. Soft. It's very different actually. Now I can't wait to get on it. I can't wait to play on it.
One thing about that turf, the new turf we have, we don't have the black rubber in our turf like most people do. We got coconut wood, and it's 20 degrees cooler on the turf than normal because of that coconut. So it's really benefiting not only for their health, but when it's 100 degrees, 90 degrees, it will only be 70 or 80 on the turf. So it's huge.
For the players for Donovan, how would you just say the offense, you've seen the offense grow, and what are you expecting?
I'm expecting for us to dominate every day at the games, for sure average over 40 points, and just go out there and have each other back and go 110% for each other and just go out there and win ball games.
For the D-line, we're going to be great on our end. On the back end, we're going to be great. We got some new guys in that's communicating very well with the young guys. And I feel like this year is going to be a great year for us.
I'm hoping for me, myself, and my team just to go out there and just get better every day. Get better every day at practice and just keep getting better every game, from the first game to the last game. Because like I said, we just going to go out there and go 110% for each other. We're going to have each other back. So our progression is going good right now. We had a good summer. we bonded, got closer with each other. And I thought this fall camp was just going to keep getting better. And every game we're going to get better.
How much more motivated are you guys after, having the record that you guys had last year?
We really motivated because when I got here, Alabama A&M was on top, and last year, it was last year. So we really motivated being an underdog, having people feel like we're not going to be at our best. So I feel like this summer we was real motivated, working hard with our team, and everybody on the team is on the same page, us and the coaches. So we really just ready to go out there and dominate.
We thank you, Coach Maynor, and to the running back, Donovan England, and defensive end from Alabama A&M, Zarion Hayes. Thank you.
Don't get hit hard by low trade offers.
Get up to $5,000 over Kelley Blue Book fair market value for any trade at University Kia. Check out our large selection of new Kias. University Kia proudly supports Alabama A&M University football. Go Bulldogs!
Engineering and science usually look like this, but our students build race cars from the ground up, explore wind tunnels, particle accelerators, and crystal growth. Our studies in cybersecurity and rocket propulsion have tech companies like Google and SpaceX recruiting at Alabama A&M University, with one of the highest percentages of women STEM graduates in the country. Alabama A&M University. Start here, go anywhere.
In golf, if you make a mistake, there is a mulligan. Well, in God, if you make a mistake, there is mercy. Aren't you glad God has mercy for your mistakes? Hello, I am PT, Pastor Troy. I want to invite you to come and worship with us at the Fellowship of Faith, where Jesus is exalted and the Word is explained. We love Alabama A&M. Go Bulldogs.
Companies hunger for our food scientists. Here, a new generation manages our cities of tomorrow. The discovery of hardier plants, healthier animals, is growing at our research station, Alabama A&M University, where new designs and ideas are put to the test. Be a researcher in our labs, or a forestry fire dog in our fields. Alabama A&M University. Start here, go anywhere.
Thank you for watching the Alabama A&M preseason football review, and we have a special guest with a special announcement. This is the legendary broadcaster, Mr. Charlie Neal, who I've been watching since I was a child. Mr. Neal, congratulations. Thank you for that.
All right.
I think I'm catching up to you, though.
All right, no problem. At least you're here.
Thank you. Better to be seen than viewed.
Right.
We'll see you for A&M homecoming against Tuskegee.
Yeah.
How do you feel about broadcasting that game?
September 30th. It's always great to come down to your territory and get on your campus and always make me feel welcome. That's the most important thing. I have a good relationship with your coach, Connell Maynor. Known him since his playing days at Winston-Salem and North Carolina A&T. Had the opportunity to broadcast his games when he was playing, and then in his coaching career, I've had a chance to broadcast a number of his games, not only here at Alabama A&M, but at Hampton also. So look forward to it.
We have a question. Was he a better player than coach or better coach than player?
I think it's about equal. Because he was a heck of a player, not only in college, but in the Arena League. You know, he threw for record yards and like 160 touchdowns and things of this nature in the Arena League. And then, of course, as a coach, he's had very much a lot of success in the coaching ranks. So that's important. And he's been able to transcend that player to coach and understanding how players react and what they need to do as a coach, what he needs to do to make them respond and get them to respond to what he wants them to do.
Here's a question of the day. I believe there are only 3 brands in college football. The SEC, the Big Ten, and HBCU football. How do you feel about that?
Well, HBCU football is on the map. I mean, it's continuing to grow in terms of popularity. You know, at one point in time, it was basically limited in terms of viewership and knowledge to the African American community. But now, the proliferation of what has happened over the last few years and the amount of exposure that HBCUs are getting, then the popularity has grown in leaps and bounds. So, you know, I have to agree with you. I mean, you know, there are other conferences still out there, the Big 12 still there, and you have the ACC, and, you know, you have
I say Mountain West.
Yeah, well, Mountain West, yeah, you have the. But again, you know, the HBCUs with the four major conferences, with the CIAA, SIAC, SWAC, and MEAC, the viewership is great. It's limitless in terms of what it's been able to do in terms of gaining revenue. And the big thing we have to do now is see if we can get more players drafted coming out of the HBCUs. And we've had, even though they're signing these kids, they're not getting drafted coming out of college. Only one player drafted last year in this past season in the NFL draft, and you know, he's doing pretty good. You know, so we'll see what happens going forward. And but HBCU football, HBCU sports in general, and even here with us at HBCU Go, we're able to expose and give credence to what's happening not only in football, but in other sports as well, such as basketball. We do track and field, we're doing baseball and softball, and we're doing some other spring-type sports that tells the great picture, the overall picture of what's happening on these campuses.
Thank you so much, Mr. Neal. We appreciate it. And guess what? Charlie Neal will be at homecoming September 30th. Will you be there? AAMUsports.com for more information about tickets.
All right, Coach, just overall thoughts as we are getting closer and closer to the football season. This is sort of the unofficial kickoff, right, the SWAC calendar, and just how excited are you for this upcoming year?
It is. This is the kickoff. We know when Media Day is here, the season's right around the corner, so everybody's very excited. And we're just ready to get going. You know, we didn't have the year we want to have last year, so you know, we're probably going to have some doubters this year, and that's okay. You got to prove somebody right or prove them wrong.
You've had a lot of time to think about spring ball since that time, and just sort of what were your takeaways from that? And are there any things that have sort of either kept you up at night or gotten you really excited as we head into the fall?
Not really. It's football. You know, I've seen it all. I've been doing this for a long time. But I'm excited about the spring. The guys, I thought we had a good spring. Thought the guys flew around, competed, and got some younger guys some reps, and that's what you want to do. And we stayed pretty healthy. So we just ready for camp and ready to compete.
It's just confirmation. Did I hear the Buffalo transfer is now playing a different position? He's no longer in the
Correct. Yeah. Correct. He's safety now.
Okay, safety now. And so one thing I thought that you really touched on in the other room was how important the bye games are. And you have a big one, obviously, first up with Vandy. And we'll talk all about the matchup when we get closer. But I was wondering if you could talk on that a little bit more. How important those are, because now there's a brand new coconut husk turf. There's going to be a whole, I guess, what do we call it, dog kennel area for the fans. It's kind of awesome. Yeah. How important are these bye games so you can have an even better fan experience and better player experience?
It's very important. When you're at this point to where you need those games to do some of those things, it's very important. And this is another one. And in those games, like you say, they're going to help us in the future. And in the present, we want to be competitive and get out of there healthy. So, we're only going to do one. We'll get Auburn in 24. We don't have anybody scheduled for 25.
Like I said over there, too, it felt like the strength of the offense really sort of ran through Eaglin a little bit. You're really hoping to be able to air it out more. And what's going to be the strength on defense as well?
Well, offensively, we're multiple, okay? We do it all, and our philosophy is we play to our strengths and defense weaknesses. So if the defense is going to crowd the box and force us to throw the ball, we're going to throw the ball. If they're going to sit back and let us run the ball, we're going to hand it off to Donovan and let him run. We want to be able to run the ball, and we want to be balanced. We think our offensive line is going to be one of our strengths, and so we want to feed Donovan. And if they got to bring people in the box to try to stop him, give us one-on-one outside, but then our receivers got to step it up. We got to take advantage of those opportunities. Defensively, led by Zarion Hayes, And that defensive line, we think that the defensive line is going to be pretty good. And if so, that's going to make the linebackers better, that's going to make the secondary better, and that's going to make our defense better. So we want to fly around on defense, play some man, get after that quarterback, put some pressure on some people.
Well, since you mentioned that position group, can you talk to me a little about that O-line? You said it's going to be a strength. How many guys are back in that area? How many returning starters, key contributors, whatever? And why do you think they're going to be so good?
Well, Jonathan Williams is first team preseason, and we think Carson Vincent is just as good, our left tackle. And then we got a center, Cam Williams, who's been a 2-year starter. This will be his 3rd year, that we think is pretty good. Then we got Big Mo Muhammad that came in last year and was a starter for us at guard. He'll be returning. So we got 4 returning starters right there. That's pretty good. And so that's why I think that's going to be one of our strengths. And then, of course, we got Donovan Eagle in the turn around and hand it to. And we got Bryson Clark returning at tight end, who played a lot for us last year. And so we're excited about those guys up front and what we got in the backfield.
Hello, Bulldog Nation. Donovan Eagle here, number 7. I'm from Houston, Texas. My major is family and consumer science with a concentration in human development. I just want to tell the Bulldog Nation, come out to the Lewis Cruz Classic September 9th at 6 p.m. against Lane College. We would love to see y'all there. We want to see all the supporters and everything. Go Bulldogs.
Darryl brings new energy to the power plant. Julian's accounting is by the numbers. They're student interns from the College of Business and Public Affairs at Alabama A&M University, where marketing class connects with the community and companies come to recruit. So while Kyle strengthens his managerial skills, he's earning a business degree and experience at Alabama A&M University. Start here, go anywhere.
Hello, I'm Pastor Troy. The game of football is a lot like the game of life. You have to tackle your problems and block your fears. I just want you to know there is victory in Jesus. I want to invite you to worship with us at one of our anointed services at our Huntsville campus or our Madison campus. At the Fellowship of Faith, Jesus is exalted and the word is explained. We love Alabama A&M. Go Bulldogs.
Union Chapel Missionary Baptist Church, a church with a big heart of love. Located at 315 Winchester Road in Huntsville, Alabama. Under the leadership of Dr. O. Wendell Davis. The worship services begin at 7:45 a.m. and 10:45 a.m. every Sunday. Now, we pray that you are blessed by our worship experience.
Welcome back to the Birmingham Sheraton, Birmingham, Alabama, SWAC Media Day 2023. I'm Ted Dixie, your host. You'll see Donovan Eaglin, running back for the Bulldogs, getting interviewed, along with our guy Zarion Hayes, defensive end number 4. Lots of work going on for the student athletes and for Coach Maynor today, as well as all the other schools here in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. The main goal of Media Day, of course, is to give the media an opportunity to talk to the student athletes and the coaches. We'll hear about the preseason all-conference selections. But more importantly, as Coach Maynor said, it's the kickoff to the football season. Also, and make another plea to you, the drive for 55 is still alive. 5,500 season tickets need to be sold. There's brand new turf at the stadium. We'll hear about that later. You'll hear about the Bulldog houses that will be located in the southern end zone of the Lewis Cruz Physical Education Complex. And of course, you'll hear about the schedule for this season. Lots of good games at home, so the home season tickets are well worth the money. Bulldogs 2023 season is about to get underway. How do we know? Because we're at SWAC Media Day. Coach, what's the worst question you were asked today?
I don't know, Ted. I mean, I don't think it's such thing as a bad question, you know what I'm saying? Because they only asked the question because they didn't know. So if you know the answer and you ask it, that's when I think it's a bad question. So I don't think it was a bad question.
You've got a quarterback battle coming out of the spring. We saw 3 in the spring game. But how many do you have on the roster, and what can we look forward to at Fan Day?
I think we got 5 on the roster that's on scholarship, and we'll let all 5 of them compete. And, whoever's the most consistent, move the chains, don't turn the ball over, he's going to get an opportunity to be the starter.
Donovan Eaglin, your returning running back who was all conference last year. People are going to think you're going to feed him the ball. You're changing your whole offensive philosophy. Zarion Hayes, who was in the top 10 in tackles for loss last year in the NCAA football championship subdivision statistics. You think you're just going to run the ball and play defense?
Well, we're gonna do what the defense say. You know, that's our philosophy. Play to our strength, defense weaknesses. So if they gonna let Donovan run the ball down their throat, we're gonna hand it to him. If they gonna put 7, 8 in the box and force us to throw the ball, then we're gonna throw the ball to some of our receivers and attack down the field.
Your coaching staff, you've had a couple of changes there, Coach. But what do you want from your coaching staff?
Just to be consistent, just to push these guys, get the best out of these guys, and make them men, fathers, role models, leaders, on and off the football field.
So you're a very introspective person. What do you have to do to improve this season?
I got to make everybody better. I got to make the coaches better. So I got to stay on those guys, make sure they're doing what they need to do to have these guys prepared. And then I just got to get the players the confidence, you know, let them know that I'm on their side, I'm behind them 100%. You know, a lot of times, you know, they be with their position coaches and they go do their stuff, and then when I come over, they start, you know, getting a little scared. Hey man, I'm on your side, and we all on the same team. And if you can't do it in front of me, how you gonna play on Saturdays? 'Cause I'm gonna be watching on Saturdays, right? So I just want those guys to understand that, look man, I'm in your corner, I'm your biggest fan. The reason you're here because of me. You know, if I don't want you here, you won't be here. So don't get it twisted, I'm on your side.
I heard a compliment about you. The great Charlie Neal said you were a very, very good student athlete. And I asked him, what is he, a better coach or student athlete? Coach, what are you better at, being a student athlete or being a coach?
I don't know, Ted. You know, I've been successful in both, but I've been lucky and blessed to have good teammates when I was a player. And then I had good players when I was a coach. Coaches aren't as good as his players. So the key to that is getting good players and good coaches, and I've been able to do that as a coach. And then as a player, for me to make all conference and go in the Hall of Fame, I had to have good teammates.
So let's get down to the nitty gritty. The schedule. You open at home against Lane, Coach. Motivate the Bulldog faithful to go buy those season tickets and to show up on September 9th at 6 p.m.
Oh yeah, I know they're going to get their tickets because not only the Lewis Cruz Classic with Lane, we got Tuskegee for homecoming. We got FAMU. We got FAMU at home.
That's right.
You know, so we got them. We got Pine Bluff at home also this year.
Thursday night game.
A Thursday night TV game. So, you know, you want to be on TV, get those tickets. We're gonna be excited. Every home game is gonna be excited. It's gonna be packed, and every away game. So this is the season that you want to get season tickets and help root these Bulldogs on.
Again, thank you for watching the Alabama A&M preseason football review with head coach Connell Maynor. But first, let me introduce you to someone that we have seen so many times home and away.
Jennifer Murray. I am an alumnus of Alabama A&M, class of 2008, co-host of From the Hill podcast, and I am just saying, Bulldogs, get your tickets. Remember to drive for 55. Make sure you get your season tickets. Show up, show out. Let's support our young men. Listen, this is our season, and they need y'all in the stadiums, loud, proud, and on fire for our Bulldogs.
Bulldog fans, thank you for joining us today for the Alabama A&M University Football Review. Bulldog faithful, we encourage your support and participation. Until next time, go Bulldogs!